Hello everyone, welcome back to Coding Pills. In today's video, we are going to build an attendance management system using Java, Spring Boot, and SQL. This is a real world backend project that can be used in schools, colleges, and offices to manage attendance records. In this project, we will create a REST APIs to mark attendance, update attendance, view attendance by date, and fetch attendance records. Related APIs. This project is a beginner friendly and also very useful for the Spring Boot interviews. So make sure to watch till the end. Let's get start the video. In this video, we are using a Spring Tool Suite ID for creating a Spring Boot project. And to storing the data, I'm using a MySQL database. As you can see here, this is the our MySQL workbench where a data is getting stored. For the checking our APIs, I'm using a Postman APIs. As you can see here, this is the Postman API where we have to check our APIs. So let's create the project in the Spring Tool Suite. If you are using other IDs, you can use it that some people preferred Eclipse, so you can use that as well. But I am using here Spring Toolkit because this makes creating a project very easy way. So that's why I'm using a Spring Toolkit. So let's create the project. It's same as the Eclipse IDs, so don't worry about it. So as you can see here, it's already mentioned here the create a Java project, create a Maven project, create a new Spring starter project, Spring getting started content, create a project, import project. If you are using Eclipse, you will be getting import projects, and by using this, you will be creating your project. That means, first of all, you have to open in the Chrome, and where you go to the Spring Boot website, and there you have select your language related things and export it, and then import from these options. You can get it from this way as well, but I'm not using this. I'm using create a new Spring starter project. Clicking there, I will create it, or else just Control N, just search it Spring. As you can see here, when you are writing a SPR, is automatically coming a Spring starter project. Click here, click to the next. As you can see here, the next things is coming here. Ah, here the customer input attendance is empty. Okay, no problem. Now here we have to mention our project name. Our project name is attendance management management system is the project name. Make sure you should not have a gap. The type Maven, package, packaging Java, language Java, Java version 17. If you are using 21, you can use select that. If you are using 25, you can use that. Else you can use a 17. If you have a lower version of a Java project, a Java version, still you can use it. I will explain you how to. Okay. Now the group ID, you can use whatever you want. I just use org.jsp. You can use org.your name or school name, college's name, something you can use it. Okay, I will just use a JSP. In the artifact ID, write what you want to be. I just write name as same as the project name. Okay, just copy and paste it here. If you want something else, you can take it. There is no problem with that. And after that, the version is same as it is. Don't touch it this. And after this, we have a descriptions. So descriptions you have to write like anything, but something relatable to the project. So manage attendance. Okay, attendance records. CORDS records. Okay. After this, you have to write the package name. Okay. As you can see here, the package name is starting from the org.springboard.attendance. If you want something else, you can write anything what you want to be. But the attendance looks smaller. That's why I write it here attendance. So let it be attendance here, AWTEN attendance. Okay. If you want if you want to write same as the name of your project, you can write it just attendance MANAGEMENT management SYSTM system. You can write like this, but I prefer to the short name, so I just take it as attendance and just click to the next. Here, here the beauty is in this Spring toolsuit, you did not have to go to the browser to copy and paste all the dependency which you needed. The all the dependency present in this Spring toolsuit itself. So you have to want whatever you want. You can select from here. Let's suppose for the saving the data in the database, we need MySQL. Just select this. Yeah, the MySQL dependency is coming now. Now, if you want to build a Spring Boot project, we need Spring Dev Tools, Spring Data JPA dealing with the database data, and Spring Web for the browser. If you want, you can also add the dependency like theme leaf or Lombok. I just explain you what is Lombok. Lombok is basically is a shortcut of the writing the getters and setters and constructor related things. Okay, so currently what we are doing, we are writing the constructor or getters and setters manually or imported through the source, and from that you have to get the getters and setters and import it. But in the Lombok, you just write the one annotation itself. It all the things is coming. Let's suppose if you're writing in the class, class name is A at the rate getters and setters. So it will be automatically get that getters and setters. You don't have to write it at all. If you want to be a constructor, just write A at the rate constructor. If you want a no argument constructor, just write no argument constructor. So for that reasons, you can use the Lombok, but this is the fresher project. So I did not add the Lombok here. So I'll let it be. We need only MySQL driver, Spring Dev Tools, Spring Data JBA, and Spring Web. After this, let's go to the next, click to the next, and see everything is coming now. Let's finish it. Make sure you have a proper internet connections. Without internet connection, you did not uh, get your project. So make sure you have a better internet connections before we creating the project. As you can see here, the project is creating here. Okay, it's done now. Oh, still will take time. Okay. Let me see here. Yeah, the our project is almost done here. And as you can see here, we will getting the something structures like this. If you are not getting the same structures like SRC main Java, SRC main resources, SRC test Java, these all the things is not coming in your IDE. You can get through the select click to the file, and the file somewhere in the sorry in the here, select here and right click, then build path. I think so. Yeah, yeah. In build path, and the build path, go to the configuration build path, and from here you have to select these things. After this, just apply and close. Then you will get a same structure as mine. Okay. So I hope you will understand till now. After this, let's come to this folder. As you can see here, this folder src main Java. We have a package org.springboot.attendance. This is the our parent project where the our execution start. And as you can see here, this already this class is coming, and this is the our Spring Boot applications class. From here, our project is getting executed. Okay, this is the main class. Now, if we want, let's suppose, if you want a login logic, if you want to log in something, for that you have to write one API, which API call the database, and you will be getting the result by the verification of the login ID and password. For that reasons, you have to structured way to write a code. So here we have to create the our structures, how to manage the our code properly. Okay, so this is the first package. This is a parent package. Just click here, control and package, P-A-C-K package. Next, and here, first package we need a entity. Why entity we need? The entity class represent the our table which is creating in the database. So whatever the tables we need, whatever the, let's suppose if you want to store the attendance related things, we need the attendance table, right? So attendance table we have to create inside of the entity package. For that reasons we need an entity package. Let's suppose I want to deal with the database. For that we need a one more package. So that is called, then again select attendance package and click control and search package. Next, and here write a repository, POSITORY repository. Okay, this package refers to the deal with the database. How we'll understand further with next in the next video. Okay, so currently you just understand the how what are the package we need to a structured way to write a code. Let's suppose if you want to table create the table, so table related things coming inside of entity package. If you want to deal with the database, for that code coming into the repository package. Now as you can see, if you want to write any logic about the how to log in perform, so we need to validate the our id and password. So that is the logic. So logic we have to write in a business logic. Business, so how to define in the here, so we need a service package. Package refers to the business logic. Okay, so just again click to the control and search package. Next, here just write a service. Okay, okay, service package is done. Now after this, if the user is entered a wrong password or wrong email, you will be getting some error, right? How we get the error, or to getting the error, because we handle the exception. If we don't handle the exceptions, we will getting a red numbers of error. To handle that error, to control the abnormal situations, we need to handle the exceptions, custom exceptions, which will be write by the programmer. Okay, so for that reasons we need a one more package called exception. Click to the here, control N, search package. Next, dot uh, exception package, exception. Okay, and finish it. After this, still now we were performing the login, right? But how in the performing the login in the client side? Client means front end side. So how to communicate my front end part to the backend, to connecting to the front end part to the backend? We need a controller where the very least code is present, but from that the code is getting executed. For that reasons, we need a controller. Controller communicate with the client. So just control and package, and here write a controller. Here our all the rest controller will be present here. Okay, these are the package we needed. One more package we need in a further video, not in this project. Okay, that is called a configuration package. Why we need that? The configuration package is need when you are performing. Let's suppose if you want to forgot your password, right? To forgot your password, you need a OTP in your mobile or the email. For that, you have to verifications. For that verification, you need file-based authentications or Twilio configurations related things. So that configuration will be defined in the configuration package. Okay, so for that reasons we need a configuration package, but here we don't need, so we did not create that. Now as you can see here, our structured way we can write a code. The table related code we can write in entity package. Exception related code we can write in a exception package, and the repository which communicate with the database, and service where our all this service logic or the business logic is present, and the controller communicates with the service. How to do that? We will understand in the next video, where you will be getting how to auto wide with the controller, auto wide with the service auto wide with the repository auto wide with the database. So we will getting data from that way, and that is called the layered of security. If you are writing code like this, this is called the layered of security. How many layers? Controller, then service, then repository, then service exception, then repository, then entity. This is called the layered of security. Next video, you will understand this how to perform the all the operations. And one more thing, let me tell you, in the here in this folder SRC main resources, here our all the resources will be defined. If you want to connect with the database, so for that will be present in application.properties. Here we have to define the our database name, our database URL, database password, and user ID and password related things will be defined here to connect with the database. Okay, so that's it in this video. Next video will tell you how to creating the our tables related things. Let's create a entity class. Just click here in the entity package, Control N, click search class. As you can see here, the class is coming here, and next, and here write the class name, which should be the our uh, tables name in the database. Okay, so let's take the name of the table is attended. Okay, and just click OK, or just finish. Yeah, yeah, it's created now. In this class, we have some fields which we have to created here, and this field is going to when we run our program, run our project the first time, this attendance table should be created in the database, and whatever the fields is present, it should be created in the table. For that reasons, we are getting to use annotations, because it does the when we run our program or project, it does not understand what we do. To understand that, that the attendance table should create in the database. For that reasons, we use annotations. When we use annotations, it will be understand this is a attendance table, and it should go to the database and create that table in the database. Okay, so let's suppose if we want uh, to attendance create in the database. So here just annotate is here @ entity. As you can see here, entity present in Jakarta with persistence is specified to call a listener class to be used in entity or mapped superclass. These annotations may be applied on the entity class or mapped superclass. Specifically, entity listener class may have a callback method annotated as a persist, pre-update, pre-remove related things is present. That means the entity class is basically a table which present in the our database. So just click here. Yeah, the package is important where it's present in entity class in the jakarta.persistence.entity package. Okay, that means now if I run our project, it will be created in the database. But how? Still now we did not configure the anything about the database, because let's suppose if we are using a MySQL or any other database, they have a password, they have a user ID, and to you have to create a database name and how to create in the database related things. But still we did not done those things, but we will done it later. First let's implement this. Okay, so here let's create a first thing, create a long id. It should be a private, yeah, a private, or we can also, else we can perform a integer, that is also better option. Okay, after this private, string attendance table. You also have a name. It should store the status like who is present in a class, who is absent in a class. For that, need a private string status. Okay. It should also have let's suppose if someone coming late. For that, we have a one more we need a one more field called a remark, which represent the on time or not on time remarks. What is the spelling of the remark? Remarks. I think it is right. After this, when we taking the attendance, it should also store the date and the time of the attendance. For that, we have a private local date, which is a Java type. We are using a Java time here because the typical queries understand the local date, not a java.util package date. That's why here we are using a Java time called local date java.time. Present in java.time. Local date and the name of the date is date and end with semicolon. Okay. Now, if you remember SQL structural query language, you are using something called a not null related things. So we were not doing like that, but we have to annotate. So which should be a null, which should not be a null. So for that, first thing is a ID. ID we did not create every time because it should be create automatically. We can perform this to create a ID automatically. For that reason, we just represent at the rate ID. It's that easy. Just at the rate ID, it will be creating the ID in the database. After this, we also need one more thing, generated values. At the rate generated values, strategy. Strategy is equal to identity, which is a generation type dot identity. That means it is a unique and this will be a identity. We can get the data through this ID. Okay. Now the name it should not be a null. For that reasons we have a column annotations. Column bracket inside of bracket just write a null label is equal to false. Okay. F-A-L-S-E here, right? False. Same thing we just write for the status as well. Just control C, control V, control V. So it should not be a null. It should be a right. It should be filled with the some values. It should not be a null. For that reasons we mentioned here null label is equal to false. And the local date. Interesting thing is here. The local date we have a same thing at the rate column should not be a nullable. For that nullable is equal to FALSC false. Also we have a updatable. We can also update the date. For that updatable is equal to false. Now that much done. Okay. Now the all the thing is done here. Field related thing is done. But if I want to access those field in the another class, if you remember, if the anything make it as private, so that if we want to get this data in the another table, another class, we need getters and setters. And to getting all the properties, for that we have to use a constructors. Constructor provide it sets an object. State means basically state is a property. That means attendance have a properties like ID, name, status, remark, date. To getting this, we need a constructor. Okay, so let's creating the constructor and the getters and setters here. Just control M here. All view. I hope the screen is visible right now. Just right click here, source, generate our getters and setters. Using first we create a default constructor without deselect, default constructor, then parameterized constructor, source, generate constructor with the fields, generate. After this, we create a getters and setters. Getters, select all. If if you don't want to be a email should be a modifiable, okay, so you did not provide add setters to that field. So those kind I think you know already. So here we need all the things can modifiable. For that reasons we need here are getters and setters. So we created here constructor is done, getters and setters is done. Okay, now this registering is done. Now the one more thing, it should be creatable automatically. We have to do one more things. That is let's take if you done a previous project, so you know that if else not did it, you have to do here public void set date. That means you can modify the data as well. Set date, and after this dot date. I think is it created? I think not created. Local date is created. Let me see. Let me see. Public void set date is already created here. I think it's already done. Oh, okay, okay, okay. I think we don't need to create that, but anyway, just create this public void set data. This dot date is equal to local date. Local date dot now. Okay. After this, to annotate this persist at the rate pre-persist. Okay. Now it's annotated as a pre-persist means you have to modify the data as well. Okay, I hope you understand here still now. After this, if I run our program, it will be not going to create any tables in the database. How? Because why? Control M. We just created a one entity. If I run and to creating this attendance in the database automatically when I run the project, for that we need a configurations. Way to do that configurations. To perform that, let's minimize this. As you can see here, we have a src main resources. Here, just click here. We have something files for statics, templates, and application.properties. Here we need templates, not a templates, application.properties. Click here. Inside of this, we just write our configurations. I just copy and paste it here. You just you can also copy and paste from the descriptions. Else you can go to the our GitHub, and in that place you can get this through the project. Okay, so just control, not this window. We here we have these things. Okay, let me tell you what is this. You can write manually, but it will take time. That's why I just uh, copy and paste it this. First of all, you need a spring.datasource.url. What does it mean? URL of your JDBC. URL of your database. So basically, what is the URL? JDBC colon MySQL colon / localhost 3306. 3306 is a port number of your database. Let me open my MySQL, and if you see here, okay, as you can see here, we have a root localhost 3306. The my in my database the port is 3306. In your my database maybe a different. Whatever it is, just write it same as it is your port number. Okay. So this is my port number 3306 slash. Here instead of attendance, just write attendance management and same as it is how I write with underscore MANAGEMENT management underscore system. Okay. So this is the database name. This is the attendance management system. And after this, here is the exclamation mark. Create a database if not exist is equal to true. That means if this data is if this database name is not present in a MySQL database, then you have to create this database first. Okay. And after this, you have to create a table inside this database. Okay. After next one is spring.datasource.username is equal to root. Username is a root. In my MySQL database, as you can see here, the username is root here. Edit connection. Let's see. The username is root. Okay. That's why here is a root and the password is an admin in my MySQL database. Whatever it is, just write it same as it is. Okay, close it. We don't have to modify it. After this, we have a driver locations that is a com.mysql.cj.jdbc.Driver. Okay, this is the class name of the driver class where the all the method is present. After this, here we have a spring.jpa.hibernate.ddl-auto update. It means whenever in the attendance class, let's suppose after run this, yeah, table is created. Now you have to modify this name should be like a name to student name. Okay, like this student name and save it. Save it. When you save it, it automatically change in the MySQL database as well. But this is a not good practice in the production level. But in the development time, we can use it. If you are doing in a production level, let's suppose here you have to change it. That means the all the related are in the package wherever you use this student name, it will be getting affected. That's why in those situations you don't use it. But in the development environment, you can use it. After you done this, you have to change it. Changes this things. This statement. Okay, just control that to come back to the name here. And after this here we have a spring.jpa.show-sql queries. It will be when you are clicking check your APIs like get the attendance. Okay, when you are getting the attendance, it will show the console the SQL queries. How to execute that query? It will be show in your console. For that reasons, we need here are show SQL queries. But in the production level, we don't have to use it because production level it may be a risky to anyone get see what is happening in the console. That's why in development environment we did not use it, but in a production environment we did not use it, and but the development environment they can use it to see what is happening in the our code. And to getting a format, the good format we use here hibernate.format.sql. This will give you the structure of a format of a structure. Okay, I hope you are understanding now. Can we move to the next part? Yeah, let's move to the next part. But before move it, just here Control S, save it, Control M, and as you can, let's come back to the here. As you can see here in the parent package, we have a attendance management system application.java. Let's click it. What is this file? Control M. Okay. What does this file means? Okay. This file, as you can see here, annotation is a Spring Boot applications. When we run this our program, first of all, this file is execute and starting from this file. This is the main file where the after our file is getting executions. Okay, so when we run this file, okay, let me run now. So it will be started. So just come here. You can click right here, right click here, and run as a Spring Boot app. As you can see here we have a run on server, Java application container, the Spring Boot app. Just click on Spring Boot app. Yeah, see, control M. Let me see, control M. This, as you can see here the console is coming here. See, the our Spring Boot application is started, and here the configuration is here. Okay, configuration here, and after this, as you can see here, Hibernate, create a table attendance, and this structure is coming in a nice way of a structure is coming. Why? Because of that statement which is right in here. Hibernate format SQL is equal to true. That's the reason it will be coming like that. Okay, and this table is see the happily is created in the database. Let me go into database, MySQL database, and check is it created or not. So let's go to the MySQL. Click here. Yep. See here. Let's refresh it and see attendance TV attendance management system. As you can see here, this database is created, and just click here. Tables. Go to the tables. As you can see here, the tables is also created. See, and the fields ID, date, name, remarks, status. That means our program is working fine and going into the very right directions. Okay, so that much is done here. Let's move to the next part now. Okay, let's stop the server right now, and after implement the next part, we will run the our server. Okay, just drop down, and then just uh, this is also done. Control S and close it. Attendance is done. Now, next thing what we have to implement after entity, we are getting to implement the exception. But the exception class, let's suppose what are the things is coming in the exceptions when the exception occurs. The HTTP code, the what is the protocol is coming like 4001, 404, 501, 500. This is the protocol, or you can say the HTTP code. This is the first things we need to get from the when the exception is occur. Message, what is the message is coming? If we're getting a success, what is the data is coming? If not getting if the problem is occurs, what will be data is coming like a null pointer exception or null is coming or not. So these three fields we need. So for that reason, in the entity package, we need a one more thing, one more class, that is a control N class, and the class is a structure response structure P type data should store this and finish it. You will understand what I am saying. Okay, don't worry about it. In this class, we have three fields. Okay, first thing we had here private int status status code. This is to store the HTTP status code. Private string message. What message will return when the exception occurs? and the private data. We store the data in a D type. Okay, the data. And to access these three fields in the another class, we have to provide a getter setters, and to getting these fields, getting these properties in a, to using these properties in another class, we have a constructor. So we have to create the constructor first. Let's create a constructor. So go to the sources, generate getters and setters without a field. Sorry, not first getters and setters. First, we have to create a constructor without a field, that is called a default constructor. After this, we have to create a source constructor which is called a parameterized constructor. After this, we have to create a getters and setters with all the fields and generated. So now this is also done. Just provide the orientations of the our program. Just click in the Control Shift F if you are using Eclipse or Spring Toolsort. So as you can see here, now the looks like better. So all the thing is done here. How where to use this class? I will explain you where we are using this. Don't worry about it. This is the very important class which we are using to wrap the our data to this class, to this structure, to send to the client. Let me explain you what how. Just keep calm and doing what I am doing here, and you will be understanding, and still you are understanding all the things. But anywhere if you are getting confused, just ask a question in a comment. I will give you the answer and clarity. Okay. So let's move to the now let's create the our exception class. Okay. So click to the exception package, Control N, class called exception. Okay. So let's take attendance, attendance not found. Okay, this is the exception name or a class name, attendance not found. Okay, and finish it. This is the first class which throw the attendance not found. Right? Way to handle these exceptions. We need a one more class which handle the our exceptions. So just click here in the package called exception. Control N, class uh, uh, attendance exception handler, ATTENDANC attendance exception PIN exception HANDLER handler. Okay, so this class handle the exceptions and this class throw the exceptions. As you can see here, class itself is saying that attendance not found exception. Okay, so let's first implement this. Okay, so or we can say here like attendance not found, also write here exception EXEPTION exception. As you can see here, when we are writing here, the red line is coming. So just mouse over here and see the rename to file to the attendance not found exceptions. Click here, the error is gone. Okay. Now let me just extend to the to throw these exceptions. We need a extend keyword, extends, extends, and this keyword should throw the runtime exception, runtime runtime exception, PIN exception. Okay. Now just mouse over here and add a default serial version ID to remove this yellow line. Okay. For that reason, so just add this. After this, here, what you have to do, we need a one method called public attendance not found. Basically, it's a constructor of the class. By using this class, these constructors, we will be getting the property of to getting states of an object. Just click here and go to the sources. Generate a constructor. Okay, not coming like that. So cancel it. Else we can write manually generate a constructor with a superclass. And here you can see here too many things coming, but we don't need this, not need this, not need this, not need this. We need this one runtime exception, and which have a string is a one meta parameters called a string which represent the message. Okay, see here is coming. This constructor is coming. Public attendance not found exception. How to understand it is a constructor means if your class have a name of attendance not found means whatever the class name, the same class name should be your constructor is called a constructor. Okay, so this is a public. It should be a special method which does not have a return type. Strings messages super messages super as if super is a keyword. It's a call statement. By using this getting the message from the parent class to child class. Okay, now let's move to the another one that is called the exception handler class. The main work is here in the exception handler class. So first of all, when we run our project, how they will understand it is a exception handler class? How? It means any class can have a exception. Okay, but to identify that it is a attendance exception handler class, for that we need a one more annotations, that is a at the rate rest controller advice. Why is not coming? Why? Okay, control M. As you can see here in the exception package, in the attendance exception handler, at the rate rest controller advice. Okay, as you can see here when we type rest the suggestion is coming. Rest controller advice is coming here. It is a shortcut annotations that combines a controller advice with a response body. In effect, simply an control advice whose exception handler method rendered to the response body, which will be understand by the Spring Boot applications. By default, the REST controller advice apply to the any controller, including a controller and the REST controller. Use attributes of the annotations to apply more specific filtering criteria. Just click here and enter. This is present in Spring Framework .web.bind.annotations REST controller advice. Okay, that means it will be our project is knows that this is the exceptional handler class. Here, let's implement our first exception here. That is a public response entity which is present in org.springframework.http. As you can see here, what is very present in a http. http is a protocol, is a address, is a link. So now I think you know that what does it mean. Just click here, enter. Inside of response entity, response structure is coming to store a protocol, that is a status code, message, and the data. For that reasons here, response structure. As you can see here, the second number, the response structure is coming, which is present in org.springboot.attendance.entity class. That means where is present? Where it is Spring Boot attendance entity package where it present. Okay, inside of entity here we need a what type of data, that is a string type of data. After this, right here method name handle the short form of attendance not found exception, and the bracket right is here attendance not found class, that is attendance not f. As you can see here, the attendance not found class is showing here when we click to the control space, which is present in spring boot org.springboot.attendance.exception class exception package. Where it's present, the exception package. That means this package, the org.springboot attendance.exception package. Inside of exception package, what we have here, attendance not found exceptions. And as you can see here, the first one is what we have first one. In the response structure, where it is present, it present in the entity package. I know you are understanding now. The response structure, as you can see here, the response structure is present in the entity package. It will be coming from this class, this package, and using here to wrap our HTTP inside of the response structure, and to control M, okay, and to create an object of that class called attendance not found exception. This is the object of attendance not found exception class, okay. And here, just bracket here. Now the next line we have to create a response structure object. So just create response structure type of a string, because the response structure is a what type of class, is a T type of class. That's why we can create any type of response structure, okay. So response structure string, and the name of the object is structure is equal to new response structure, control space response structure, and with semicolon. After this, now the object is created. Just by using this object, just wrap our data, what kind of exception we have to throw. The picture is coming here, the structure dot set message. Set message where is present, in our response structure class. As you can see here, the set message which is present in response structure class. Where the response structure class is present, in a entity package. Now you are getting from this, and here we have to throw the messages. How we throw? Just write attendance not found exception, which is the object of attendance not found exception class, dot get message. Get message is coming from the attendance not found exception class. Are you getting? I think you are getting, or most of the people not. Why? Basically, what is happening here, the attendance not found is a class which is present in the exception class here, right? In this class, what we have a one setters method. The setters, yeah, it's a getters and setters method, no, it's a constructor. Sorry, it's a constructor. Okay, presenting here, and this constructor is calling here by using a super call statement. So here the structure dot set message attendance not found exception dot get message. So that message is coming from here. That message is coming from here. And when we are doing the super message, this message is going to the response structure. Here is coming. Okay. And as you can see here, we provide here our getters and setters of the message field. I hope you are understanding what I am trying to say. After this, the structure. Next things we need are structure dot status code. So as you can see, set a status code. Set a status code, which is a HTTP status. The HTTP status which is presented org.springframework.http, which is a protocol of the browser. HTTP means basically the protocol of the browser. What is a protocol? Protocol is a rule. So what kind of error should throw is called the protocol. Okay, HTTP status dot what we have to throw here. That means the class itself is saying attendance not found. That means we have to throw the not found type of exceptions. So let's search it. Is it present in not found exception? So as you can see here, the not found is present in a HTTP status in the status class, HTTP status class. Just click here and enter dot value. That value should coming inside of this. So this will be through that protocol. When the exception occurs, it will be through the HTTP 5001 is occur. HTTP 441 is coming. HTTP 401 is coming. Okay, it will be coming from this line. When it's coming not found, that means we have to not getting any data. So that's why structure dot set data null. Because when the exception occur, that means you are not getting any kind of data. So the response is null. After this, return these three values inside of this. So return new response entity, response entity a control space. After this control space, as you can see here, the suggestion is coming. So just click here. The response entity response structure is string wrapped with a structure, comma, HTTP. Make sure here we have to enter a HTTP status, not HTTP status code. Okay. So HTTP status is present in spring framework.http class same object in the package and dot not found. Enter. Now this is done. Now the exception is done here, and here we are using only one exceptions, and this exception can use in any business class logic. Let's suppose if you're implementing a one function called a login, and when you are implementing the login functions, that means that when the user entered a wrong password, you have to throw the exceptions. We just use this exception in that business logic. Just call a handle, and then just call attendance not found or handle exception, handle attendance not found. That method is coming inside of this business class, and use it all this in there. Okay, we will implement and see how we use this. Okay, till now don't worry about it. You just now you know that how to creating the exception. Okay, that much you have done in this video. Next, let's move to the next part is after this in the exception. Let me. So how many things is done? Entity package is done now. The exception package is done. And after this, let's move to the repository. After repository service and after service controller. Okay. So let's move to the next package. Okay. Now just save it and just click here to close this. Close this. Close it and close this. After this, so let's first create a repository package. So as you can see here, we have already a repository package which we created in the starting time. Okay, just click here and control N. Here we have to create a interface. Interface is called attendance repository. Make sure name should be like to be a represent to itself. When we write attendance repository, that means it is present in a repository package. That's why you write a attendance repository. Click here to finish. Okay, so this interface is created in this class in this package, and we have to extend to the another class, class called JPA, where the all the method is present like getting data, deleting data, fetch the data, save the data, update the data related method in that class. So just click here to just write here extend JP JPA repository and control space. As you can see here is coming JPA repository, which is present in the org spring framework .data.jpa.repository. Just click and enter it. And this repository class present a T and ID. T basically present the class and ID and the what type of ID is storing. Okay, so first place just write attendance ATTENDANCE and see here the attendance is coming here, which is present in org.springboot.attendance dot entity package. So that means it will be present in this package. See the attendance entity and here present cancel it. Present this attendance class. It will be coming from there and the ID is integer. Why integer? The attendance table have a type of ID is the integer type. If you don't remember, just click here. See here in the attendance class, having an ID is an integer type of ID. That's why in the repository interface, we use a ID called integer type. Okay. Now the repository class, the repository interface is done here. And to make sure it should be a repository interface or class, for that we have to need one annotations. Why we need annotations? So when the client call to the any service, to let's suppose if the client want to enter the email and password, and after email enter the email and password, click to the login button. That should be it should be login, and the home page is coming, right? How to happen this? So for that, when we do this, so the request is coming here in the attendance repository and attendance repository to know that yeah I am a repository. How? Because @the repository. Okay, that means okay I am the repository. That means I have to done our work properly. So it will be goes to the CPA repository where the methods related thing is present, and it goes to the database, and through that email and address it validate that is it right or wrong. So see that the attendance repository see that yeah the user entered email and password is right. Let's shift to the next page called a home page, or let's give it to the data, right? So that's why reasons here we need a @the repository annotations to know that is it a repository. So their work is to you have to go to the database and whatever the operations coming from the client side, just validate or just log in, just give it to the response, whatever the response is coming from the database. Okay, now it's done. Now next move to the service class, service package, where we will be writing a service class logic that is called a business logic, where the main program is starting from the business logic, which is the very important part of the program, and you have to know very carefully and understand how to write the code. Okay, so that much is done here. There are also some other work inside of this interface. You will be understand when I'm doing. Let's suppose if you want to get a data by the date, right? How to do that? In the SQL query language, you have to writing the query called select date from this table, where the date is equal to this and this, right? In the same thing, we were not doing here, but something called a JPQL query, which we are using in this interface. And by through this interface, you will be getting the data very easily from the database. So don't worry about it. I will explain you that as well. Just keep calm and keep patience and do your best through this. Okay. So the next one is let's come to the service package. This is the repository which is done. Exception is done and the entity is done. Right. Just minimize this. Click here org.springboot.attendance.service package control and search class and click to the class. Okay. And here make sure it should be attendance. Make sure it should be a service class. For that, a name should be relatable so that you are not getting confused which class what you are doing, right? So here write attendance service and finish it. So as you can see here, name itself is saying that is it a attendance service class, right? Which I am understanding. But how to program understand this is a service class? There, the one annotation is coming here to know that is it a service class where the our business logic is present, and this class have to perform their task to get a data from the repository interface. So let's annotate this at the rate service. Okay, at the rate service. That's done. Now the next things are before implemented. I think let's also include the controller first, right? So do the better way of program. So okay, okay, no problem. First, do one more thing here. And so see, if we want to get the data from the attendance repository, from the attendance repository, we need a object of this class, this interface. We need this object of this interface, right? Attendance repository interface we need to getting the data to deal with the database, right? To connected with the attendance repository to the attendance service, we have to just write here private create a object of this class object of the dash interface called attendance attendance repository repository. Oh, still is again it happening. Why? Okay, no problem. Okay, just control space. As you can see here, attendance. We need a repository. As you can see here, the interface is coming attendance repository, which is present in org.springboot.attendance.repository package. As you can see, the package means this the org.springboot.attendance.repository, where the our interface is present. To connecting with this repository to the attendance service to perform operations, let's create an object of this class. For this, for that we need a auto wire. The annotation itself is saying that auto wire. When we are performing, it will be auto wired to the attendance repository interface. So whatever the logic is writing here, that means it goes to the repository interface, and the repository interface deal with the data and giving data back to the attendance service. Okay, got it? Same thing we have to do first for the controller, then next move to the coding part. Okay, still we are doing a coding, but the actual coding start in the attendance service class. So don't worry about it. So let's come to the attendance controller. As you can see here, org.springboot.attendance controller package. Click here, control and class, search class name should be a relatable. So attendance, and make sure it should be a controller. So the controller. So attendance controller, which is a relatable name. So we will not getting the any conflict. Okay. To make sure it should be a controller, and this class should deal with the client side. For that, we have to mention a REST controller. REST, REST, sorry, REST, REST, CONTROLLER controller. Okay, just click REST controller. As you can see here, the annotation is coming like REST controller, which is present in org.springframework.web.bind.annotations. So what does it mean? A convection annotation that itself annotated to the controller and response body. So it is a controller which is control the our program. Types that carry annotations are treated a controller, where a request method assume response body semantic by default. Note: a REST controller is proceed if an appropriate handler mapping or handler adapter pair is configured, such as a request mapping handler adapter pair, which are the default of the MVC. MVC is a model view controller, Java config, and the MVC namespace. Okay, this REST controller annotated as a REST controller, and it should be auto wired with the attendance service to deal with the to getting data from the service getting data get the to send the request to the basically attendance controller send a request to the attendance service. Attendance service send to the request to the repository, and the repository send to the request to the database. When the database giving data back, the repository come to the service come to the controller, and controller giving data to the client. Client means a front end part. Client means React. Client means Angular. Whatever the language which you are using to implement the front end, that is called a client side. Okay. So just here, type here added in service control space. As you can see here, added in service present in our spring.boot.attendance service package, which is a Java package, which is not a inbuilt package. Okay. And to creating the object of this class called attendance service, enter and end with semicolon. Make sure it should be a private. Okay, and it should be auto wired with the service. Okay, now that much is done here. Now the next part is just first of all just save it, all the things, close it, all the things. Okay, after this, see, to doing a uh, program or writing a code in a uh, semantic or exact way to not getting confused where what to write. For that you have to follow these structures. Okay, this is the structure which you are not getting confused. And next thing which I am doing is like first of all, we have a controller, that is the attendance controller. Okay, after attendance controller, getting back to the attendance service, and after attendance service is connected with the attendance repository. So the next one is attendance repository. Okay, these three things. After this entity class, which we have a response structure. Sorry, not a response structure. It should be a attendance. Okay. Okay. Now that much is done. After this, just control M, and we have to implementing like from the attendance repository. After this, we have to business logic. After business logic, come back to the controller. Okay, we are moving like to this. Okay, so let's write our the first APIs inside of business logic called attendance service class, which is called a business logic, or we can also say the service logic. Okay. Technically, we also follow the both the term is a service logic or a business logic. Both sound same. Okay. Okay. So let's implement here in the next video. Yeah. The first method which we have to implement, or the first API which we have to implement, is public response entity, which is present in a org.springframework.http, which is wrapped with the response structure. Response structure, what type of data is it? It should be a sorry, uh, attendance, just attendance, which is a table. There it is, which is attendance org.springboot.attendance dot entity package, and the method is a mark attendance, which have a attendance object of attendance. Okay, and the body. So basically, what the public is a access modifier, which giving the accessibility of the our APIs or function. Okay, response entity is a browser protocol which is present in a HTTP package and which is wrapped with the response structure, and the response structure inside of is attendance wrapped in the response structure. Okay. After this, the method name is a mark attendance, and inside of this argument, formal argument is attendance is a basically attendance is a object, and creating the object inside of this formal argument. And let's perform the our operations. So the first we have to create a response structure object, RESP response structure object, type of attendance type of object. Why attendance type of? Because response structure is a T type of data, so it can be create any type of object. So here we are creating a attendance type of object. Name of the structure is equal to new response structure. Okay, and with semicolon. After this, now you will understand why we are using a repository. Okay, see the first thing, the structure dot set message, here, write it here, attendance marked successfully, SU double C E double S F U double L E, successfully. Okay, why successfully? Because the structure dot set data, I think, no, yeah, data, and inside of set data, what we have to do, as you can see here, the our service class is auto wide with the attendance repository. So we just use this object inside of this data attendance repository and just click to the dot. As you can see here, too many method is coming here: get by id, get one, get reference by id, save and flush, count, equals, exist, there are multiple methods which is present in a attendance repository. It's not an attendance repository, it is present in a, let me come to the attendance repository interface. It will present in a JPA repository, which is extend to the attendance repository, right? So whatever the method is present in a JPA repository, it automatically comes to the attendance repository because of the inheritance. Okay, so now just come back to the service logic and just click to the dot and search for the save. As you can see here, save is coming, which is present in a CRUD repository. Okay, and just save. What we have to save? We have to saving a attendance, right? We were saving a attendance, right? So inside of this save, you have to give a argument called a attendance. Okay, the data is saved. Now, if the data is saved, then what we have to throw status code? What is the status code we have to throw? The status code we have to throw is http status dot created dot value. Okay, this thing is done. That means the first API is almost done now. Okay, after this, just return new response entity. Okay, if you are getting confused, just come back to the. I'm just writing a response entity here and just click to the response control space, and the first thing is coming as response entity slash this coming. Okay, suggestions. Just click here. So it will be coming response entity, response structure, attendance, or else you can just here copy from here, Control C, and just paste it here, return new, and yeah, Control V. Okay, this two way you can do this. After this, just in the argument, in the formal argument here, wrapped with the structure slash http status. Third one, not http status code, it's http status which is present in a org.springframework.http. Okay, http status dot created. Okay, and with semicolon. The first API is done. Just let's comment out here. Let's comment out. What we comment out here? Uh, just copy this. Select from the Control C, the mark attendance API. Okay. After this, let's come to the controller. Going to the controller, before going to the controller, just copy this first line, Control C, before better to, you can just write manually. I just copy and paste it to the first line. Okay, Control V. Response entity, response structure, attendance, mark attendance, attendance. Same as the business logic. And the body here, just return, re, control space, return. And the return, as you can see here, the attendance service is auto-wired with the controller. So that means just here use a control Z, attendance service, control space, dot. As you can see here, the method is coming from that class. The mark attendance is coming in the first place. Just click here and the mark attendance and attendance. So I just call that method by using a attendance service, which is already auto-wired with the controller, which is already auto-wired with the attendance service class. Okay. Now the first API is done, but still we don't know what type of method it is. What we were doing with this API. Obviously, it is a API, but what type of API? So we have to give annotations like @post mapping. When you are saving a data, that should be a confidential. That's why it should be a post mapping, right? Inside of post mapping here, we have to throw the path inside of double quotes. You have to write a path like a mark dash attendance. Okay, this is the path. And here, when we were saving a data, you have to understand what type of data you're storing. So attendance means you have a name, email, password related thing. That means come here. What we have ID, name, status, remarks. There are four things, but in a real time you have a multiple data. So when you are saving a data, that means it should be coming inside a body structure. So you have to provide a structure. For that reasons, here you have to need a one more datations called a request body at the rate req b control space. As you can see here, request body is coming. Uh, and annotation indicate that method parameter should be bound to the body of the web request. The body of the request is passed through an HTTP message converter to resolve the method argument depending on the content type of request. Optionally, automatic validations can be applied by the annotations by argument with a valid. Okay, so now let's uh, this request body. Now the API is done. Okay, now we achieve the one API we will build now, which is called as REST APIs. Okay, and before move to the next API, we can go through the postman and check is it working or not. So let me just open to the postman window. Postman, make sure you have you are using a postman, else you can use another IDs as well. I don't remember the other IDs, but yeah, they have multiple IDs which you by using that we can check the our APIs. So what we have to check here, see I already performed this thing. Here the first thing we have to check like attendance related thing, right? So here at the rate service, sorry, in the controller, this is a REST controller. But where what type of request is coming, right? This is the questions when the client sent to the request, which controller is sending the request? You might be getting confused when the path is same to the other another one. Here we have only one control, so you are not getting confused. What we have a admin controller as well. You have a student controller as well. So you will be getting confused because directly you are starting from the slash mark attendance. So you have to give a default a path of the controller. So here you have to provide one more thing uh, at the rate request mapping, and inside of this provide default values like attendance request slash attendance, or you can path give it the path is equal to whatever it is, but don't required here. Just attendance. That means the request is coming in the attendance controller. But if you are not mentioning this, still it works. But it will be getting confused when you have a multiple controller. Even you are getting confused where what request is coming when you are not giving a actual things. Let's suppose here if you are writing a attendance controller and the same thing you are writing in the service class as well as same attendance controller and the repository same as the attendance controller. So you will be getting confused, right? That is the reasons you have to mention a request mapping here. Okay, let's save it. Control M. Uh, okay, okay, okay. Now let me run the our program. Just come to the our Spring Boot application and here click here. Okay, it's running now. Okay. Yeah, it's running now. Where it is running, let me check here. As you can see here, the Tomcat server starting on the port, sorry, starting on the port of the 8000. You might be a different port, but in my systems having a 808. Okay, so let's come to the postman. This is the postman, so which have a like http colon slash localhost slash 8080 is the port number of the MySQL server, my Spring Boot server, and here the the default location of the attendance is attendance, then slash which request you are sending. The request which I am sending is basically is a mark attendance, right? So just come here, copy it, slash here, write mark attendance. Now what we were sending? We were sending the body. Why body? As you can see here, we were mention here our request body. So as you can see here, this is the body, which is a JSON format. If you are getting confused here, just see post, select the post here, post URL, then here go to the body, and the body select row, and the row after here you have to select a JSON format, because we are sending a data in the JSON format. And here let's take a name instead of Anjali. Let's take a Sheila. Sheila. Okay. Sheila, is it absent? No. The first student always be a not absent. It should be a present because Sheila is a topper. Okay. Sheila is a present a monitor in the class. Okay. So it will be always present. So I just mentioned here present. Remark to be a on time because the topper or the monitor is always coming to the on time. Okay, so just write on time. Okay, after this three fields is required because the date is automatically created, a time is automatically created. Okay, so an ID is also automatically created. So we just need a three fields here, and let me just send it. Yeah, what we were getting in the response. See, status code 201. Where it coming? Because of that HTTP status code. The status code 201, that means is created. As you can see here, the status is 201 means created. Okay, and the message is attendance marked successfully. And the data it coming in the body, inside the body called ID1. See, we did not mention the ID, but ID is created. Name Sheila, status present, remark on time, date is 15/1/2026. We can also store the time, but we did not mention the time, that's why. Okay, let's now open our MySQL workbench. Let me open it. Yeah, it's open now. Click here. This is our attendance table. Okay. Just refresh it. See, we will getting the ID1, date of 2026, month of 1, 15 Jan, name Sheila, remark on time, status present. That means our first API is working very, very fine. Okay, so now we can move to the next APIs. Okay, in the next video, and also let's come in here in the console. See, the SQL query is also coming here. The Hibernate insert into attendance data name remark status value question mark. Okay, that means it's working fine. And let's move to the next APIs. The next APIs will be a update attendance record. Okay. Okay. So just control M, public. Uh, Make sure having a difference too much. Okay. Now it's right place. Public response entity, response structure, type of data is attendance, and the method is update attendance. Update attendance. ATTENC attendance. And to updating something, we have to first validate, right? Because validations we cannot update, or else you have to uh, find your data. Before updating, you have to find your data, right? How to find that? We need something unique. So as you can see here, the ID is unique in our table. So here we need ID and the attendance object here. Okay. So first create a attendance object here and then ID here. That is a integer type of data, integer type of ID, and the body of this. Just create same as first a response structure, type of data is attendance, and the structure, object name is structure is equal to new is a keyword, response structure, and with semicolon. After this, we have to first create a optional attendance. Let me just write it first. Then I will explain you what I'm doing here. Receive attendance, receive variable T and TNC attendance is equal to. See, it's not completed right now. Here, as you can see here, we use a optional. What is a optional? Optional is a class. When your mouse over here, this is a container object which may or may not contain a not null values. If a value is present, you have to return true, else you have to return a false. For that reasons, we need this class which is present in java.util package. As you can see here, the optional is present in java.util.option package. Okay. After this, here you have to get the data inside of this receive attendance. For that, we have a attendance repository, right? Attendance repository dot just search find the find. As you can see here, the suggestion itself is saying that the method is present called find by ID in the CRUD repository. Okay, so that means just click here and enter it and ID. That means when the request is coming, our service logic is coming like here. Let's suppose optional attendance receive attendance is equal to attendance repository dot find by ID. The attendance repository is coming here and search the find by ID is means that data is present in the database or not. So it will be goes to the MySQL and the MySQL see the ID one is present. Okay, I am getting your data and let me give you and you can modify that data as well. Okay, so now after this we have to validate. So how to validate? Because here we have our optional. Optional do the two things. Yeah, else is a present or else is absent. False or not present. Okay. So here we use a if if receive attendance dot is. As you can see here in the optional class is present is empty or is present. I'm searching is present. If it's present, then you have to update your data, right? To updating your data, you need a new object, and by using that, you have to update the data inside of this. So here need a attendance. Name of the object is exist 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 attendance attendance is equal to new, not new, I think so. Okay, here receive attendance. Where is coming? It's coming from here. Receive attendance dot get dot get. Okay, what does it mean? This line means we're creating a attendance type of object, and this object should get a data from this. But how we can do directly do this? But we did not get a validate. Is it present or not? We did not get that. For that reasons here first validate our data. If it's present, then you have to do create a attendance class of object and get that data inside of this exist attendance. Get the data inside of exist attendance. Okay. Now data is coming in this object. After this, you have to modifiable access. Give it to the modifiable access. So you know that the getters and setters is already present in the attendance class. So just set the data or data. So exist attendance dot set name, and after this attendance dot get name. First one is ready now. If you remember the private related things, how to deal with the getters and setters, then you know that what I am doing here. Else your basic is not clear, then you will be getting confused. But don't worry, it's not a confusable anything. When you want to modify a something, you have to provide a setters method inside of a class, right? That is why in the attendance, as you can as let's come here, in the attendance class, we already provide our getters and setters. By through this, we just modify the our data. If we just give our getters, that means we can just read the data like email is readable. It is not a modifiable, so you have to give an access like that. So let's come back to the attendance service. And next one is again exist attendance dot set. Next one is set status set status dot attendance dot get status. Let me. Next one is exist attendance dot set remark attendance control space dot get remark. Okay, it's done now, and the date is automatically updatable, so we don't have to write that. And after this, you have to save, right? After this, you have to save. Till now, we did not perform a save. Save is like a update, right? But when you are saving, is normal. But when you are updating, you have to validate that, because without a validate, you can update your data, right? So that's why here attendance attendance update attendance object attendance object dot is equal to attendance repository dot save attendance exist attendance. Okay, now it's saved. Now it's saved, but still we did not provide a structure. We did not provide a HTTP status. So when you are updating, what type of HTTP status call, what type of data call, what is the message we have to throw. So for that here, the structure. Now the exception is also coming to the picture. Just see, just watch it. Structure dot set message. Message is attendance updated successfully. SU double C E double S F U double L Y successfully. Then the structure dot set data update attendance and structure dot set 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 the status code set the status code http status dot okay dot value. For the updating, we use this. After this, okay, after this, you have to return now. Return new response entity, and this is coming automatically. Structure, comma, http status dot okay. Okay, that much done now here. Okay, this is the if block. Okay, I forgot the another one. Is this? Okay, after this, oh, still not showing the error. Okay, let me save it. Control Shift plus F. Oh, sorry. Let me. Okay. Oh, sorry. Here a dot. Okay. And see, still the error is showing here. Why? We have to type a return statement. But if you just add a return statement, it does not mean to be handled the exceptions. To handling the exceptions means, let's suppose if the ID which we are entered is not present, then what will happen? It will be giving the error in a runtime. The client side it will be showing a red. To handle that situation, to handle that abnormal situations which might be come, have to just handle here what throw by using a throw new attendance. If you remember that attendance not found exception A and FE and control space. See, the first place is coming attendance. Oh, sorry, is account not found. The third place is coming attendance not found exceptions, which is present in org.springboot.attendance.exceptions dot attendance not found packages. Just click here and enter it. And here you can write the exceptions what you want to be. So just right here the enter, just click here, just here ID, and make sure it should be concatenate when you are using any field inside of this argument. So let's just like ID means the plus, and here when you are concatenations means you are doing string things. Okay, else it will be not accept the any kind of fields. So here write the entered entered entered, right? It is right. I think so. Entered ID is wrong. Okay, and with semicolon. That's it. Now now I'm handling the exception as well. When the wrong ID is entered by the client, it shows the ID entered is wrong. Just save it. Now this business logic is done here, and let's move to the controller. Just copy the first line, same as the previous one, and here just comment out here. Control C, Control V, API. Okay, update API. Control C. Just go to the controller and coming back here, Control V, and here you have to give a return attendance service, which is already auto-wired with the uh, attendance controller dot update attendance, which have a attendance and ID and with semicolon. It's done. Still done? Not. Still we were not giving the what type of method it is. It's a put. It's a update attendance. That means this data should be updated. How to understand our project? It will be understand when we are updated as a put. When you are updating something is coming to the inside of put mapping. Okay, so just use a put mapping here. Inside of put mapping, just enter the path of update update hyphen attendance. Okay, okay, it's done now. No, it's not done. Still, we have a attendance here and the ID here. How? When your see the slash should be there. When your URL is coming here, after this you have to identify what type of a body it is. It should be giving coming inside of JSON body. For that, at the rate request body and where the ID should be entered in a parameter or in the path variable. Path variable means it will be coming from here, or else yeah, if it's a field like a normal field like an input field, then you have to give a request parameter, but it should be coming inside a path variable. So just here at the rate path. Let me tell you why path variable. That means in the URL itself here, just you have to slash in the curly braces mention the ID here, right? That means ID should be coming here. Let's save it and control M and run the our project. After this, let's run it. Just come to the our Spring Boot application and run it. Okay, okay, yeah. Now it's restarted. Okay, let's go to the postman and update the our. Okay, see, let's suppose here we already did this, so that's why you're coming like this. Just select the put because our method what type is put type of method, right? And here you have to insert a HTTP localhost 808. The default address of this page is a attendance. So slash attendance and slash what we have to do here. We have to update the attendance. Just Control C and coming here Control V. A double T and D and C. Okay. And as you can see slash ID. What if we entered a wrong ID? So first, here we have to enter a wrong ID which is not present in our database. So let's enter a 2 here and just coming to the MySQL as you can see here, refresh it. See, we don't have a ID 2. Okay. And as you can see here, we have a data called just have a name and Verma wasn't on time. So I just changed the name like okay, Sheila to the let's Sheila to the let's say Sheila Kumari. Okay, is it present and on time? Okay, let me send it. As you can see here, the method not allowed. Okay, oh, we will getting the error. Why? See, the error is methods not allowed. org.springframework.this request method put is not supported. Why? Because the our method is not put. It may be not put. That's why we're getting this error. So let me come here and see. Instead of put, here we were mentioning the post. In by mistake, we did one thing wrong and it will be not giving the result. Just come back here. Instead of put, here we have to write a So instead of post, we have to write a put mapping. Okay, just save it and then restart the server. Yeah, it's restarted. And let's come back here and send the request. Still 500. Spring with attendance exception, attendance not found. Exception 2 entered ID is wrong. See, attendance 2 entered ID is wrong here. Okay, still come here. The attendance not found exception 2 is entered ID is wrong. Why? But still it's not handled because the too many thing is coming here. Why? Let's come back to the exception package and see what we did wrong here. Let me come to the exception. Oh, what we did wrong here? Okay, we did something wrong. We did not mention this is a exceptional handler. Okay, that's why. So here you have to write a exception. Okay, exception handler. And what type of which class of exception handler? Attendance not found. A double T and A and C attendance. So basically just copy here from here. Control V dot class. Right? Now let me save and see what we will getting. Save it. We start the server. Let's come back to the here and send it. See, the exception is handled. Still the exception are now is the abnormal system is not coming. But if we will not mention this is the exception handler of this class, it will be giving a too many errors. That's why we need a exception. Okay, now the confusion is the is getting burst now. Okay, but still the two entered ID is wrong or it's not available. Okay, so what if we entered a one and see what will be happening? See the attendance updated successfully. ID1 is become the Sheila Kumari. Status present remark on time date 2026 1:15. And let's go to the MySQL database and see is it updated. See here the name is Sheila, but in the time of refresh, see Sheila Kumari. That means the update API is also done here. Okay, now let's move to the next one is I think find by ID. Yeah, I think so. So let's move to the next API. Okay, let's uh, so now the exception is cleared now. Okay, and after this, just close the session, save it, close it. Okay, next API. What will be the next API? So the next API will be uh, find by ID. Okay, so let's find by ID. Public response entity, response structure. Okay, type of structure is attendance type, and then write a method find by ID, or else find attendance DANC attendance by ID, right? ID, and here the argument, formal argument, write a integer ID. Okay, and let's find the our attendance. Okay, or we can mention that find attendance records by ID. That's much unique name or identifiable name. So here find attendance records by ID. Control M. Okay, after this here, same as the response structure, type of structure is attendance, object structure is equal to new response structure and with semicolon. Okay, after this here, just mention this optional attendance. Why? Because we were check that is it present or not. That's why reasons here the optional is used. Receive attendance is equal to attendance repository dot the find by ID is present in the attendance repository, which is extended by the JPA repository, where the CRUD of repository is present. Find by ID. Just get from there and the ID and with semicolon. So we find the ID, but we did not find the ID. There are two scenarios here, but we can check it if receive attendance, sorry, REC little space receive attendance dot is present, sorry, is present, sorry, it is present, then what we do? We just do structure dot set message attendance found attendance ADDENDANC attendance records found found. Okay, structure dot set data receive attendance dot sorry get. After this structure dot set status code, structure dot set status code http status dot okay dot value, and here same as return new response structure control space, sorry, uh, response entity, and all the thing is coming here, structure comma http status control space http status dot okay. Still the error is coming because we have to throw the exceptions. What if the attendance is not present in the particular ID? Then throw, sorry, throw new attendance, attendance not found exception. Okay. The here mentioned that the ID which we are entered concatenate is not found. The attendance records 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 is not found. FOUND found and with semicolon. Okay, it's also done now. And let me just copy this and here mention that APIs control API. Okay, same as just copy to the first line and just come back to the controller. Coming here, control V, return new, sorry, return attendance service dot find attendance by attendance record by ID and with semicolon. Let's get to the here we were finding the attendance record. Finding means here getting the data, right? So here you have to mention a get mapping here. Get mapping. Okay, when you are getting the something, okay, when you're getting some data, you have to use a get mapping. Here, like path, you have to enter a path like okay, find hyphen attendance hyphen records. whatever you want, you can write. You can write a small path as well. I just write the all one records. Find attendance records by ID, right? So instead of ID, the slash here, and it's a path variable. Okay, you have to enter in the URL. That's why you have to enter a path variable. Okay, and mention here in the curly braces ID, save it, and check is it working or not. Control M. Let's run it first. Come to the Spring Boot applications, run it. Yeah, our server is running right now. Okay, let's go to the postman and check is it working or not. Before going to that, here we have to get this. We have to copy this path here and just go to the postman. See what is this? It's a get mapping, right? And the get mapping here you have to mention the URL. The default URL is http localhost 8080/attendance, and here enter the next URL, next path, which is this find attendance records by ID, right? So just coming from there, slash which ID we want to get. Let me enter something like 500 and send it. Oh, 404. Message 500 attendance record is not found. Okay, that means we are that this ID is not present in the database. Let me enter a one. Yeah, in the one ID one, we will getting the data. That means the our this API is also working fine, and we can move to the another part. But still, here we were checking in the where it's a postman. We can check from the Chrome as well. Just copy this line. Okay, let's move to the Chrome. So you will be feel like you are doing something. That's why let's move to the Control V and enter it. See, we will getting the data, but in a not a really a good manner. The pretty format, status 200, message attendance record found, data ID, CILA, remark kind of thing is coming in the Chrome as well. I hope you are understanding still now. Let's move to the next API. Okay, just cancel it. Okay. Okay, let's close the server, stop the server, and come back to the service package again. Control F. And the next API will be let's suppose if I want to check the attendance of the particular date, then how to check it? Okay, no problem, no worries. We'll do it that as well. So just do this here. Public public response entity, response structure, and type of data is attendance. Am I right? Yeah, attendance. But see, still we were getting the attendance, but still till now we were getting one single attendance at a time. What if the attendance of the multiple users? When we were getting the attendance by the date, that means in that date too many people is present or absent. So I want to get all the data. For that, what are the collections things is coming in the picture? What are the things we have in the Java? So we have a array list. In the collections, we have a linked list, has set related things. Here, we were using a list. By using list, we can get multiple data at a time. So before attendance, for attendance, control Z, just here wrap with the list which is present in java.util package. You did not import the org.hibernate.mapping. Make sure you have to import the java.util. Okay, and enter it. And here inside of list, you have to mention the attendance. And then here you have to write the method name called PIEWBU attendance by date date. Here you have to mention a local date. Yeah, okay, that much is done. But let's come here and check. See, okay, it will be imported a right one. That is the import java.time.local date. Okay, no problem is till now. Okay. After this response structure, sorry, create a object of the response structure. Okay, list wrapped in the list attendance structure is equal to new response structure. Okay, and with semicolon. And then we need one more thing. If we get multiple users at a time, we need a list here again. List of attendance, receive attendance is equal to what? Attendance repository. And search, there is that any method which is present in this class, in this interface, which is extended by the JP repository. So just enter dot find all. As you can see here, the first method is coming is automatically the find all, which is a list attendance list CRUD repository. Return all the instance of a type. Just click here and enter it. See how much easy the Spring Boot application, how much easy, because in the starting time when you are learning, you are dealing with the JDBC, Hibernate, then a Spring framework. After this year come to shift to the Spring Boot. So when you're dealing with the JDBC, then your connection of the multiple time, when you are performing a saving, deleting, a same thing happening again and again. So those have boilerplate code related things are getting erased now, so you can easily to build applications. Okay. After this, we have to check if receive attendance dot. What type of receive attendance is a list type? That means list. We already have a method called size. This size, the size method is coming here, and the size is greater than 0. That means if the data is present more than a 0, the condition is more than a 0, then you have to give all the data. Okay, how? Just structure dot set data and receive attendance. Structure dot set message the attendance found attendance found found in the date of date of just enter date here and with semicolon, but make sure it should be concatenate, otherwise it will give you the error. Okay, date of this structure dot set status code dot http status dot ok dot value, then return new response structure, sorry, response entity, okay, wrapped with structure comma http status, oh, sorry, array yaar, http status dot okay, and with semicolon. We're still giving the error because if not percentage greater than 0, you have to throw new attendance not found. Sorry, attendance not found exception. What we have to throw? You have to throw attendance not found, okay, in the date of plus enter the date. Okay, see, if you don't want to be complicated, just you can remove it, this, no problem at all. But if you know the concatenations means the time of our response, you will get the date as well. That's why it got the date here. Okay. Oh, we will done the one more milestone. We achieved the one more milestone. Okay, this API is almost done now. Just here mention that view attendance by data. This API is done here. Okay, Control V, comment here and APIs. Mention the APIs. As usual, copy the first line and just go back to the controller, and here paste it and just do this. When we were pasting this now, automatically the package is coming, but sometimes it's not coming. So you will be giving the error in the red line. Let's suppose the list is giving the error. Just the mouse over here, and that import option is coming, and import the java.util.list. Okay. Okay. After this here, return attendance service dot sorry attendance service dot find attendance record, or what is the name of the view attendance by date. Okay, date. Okay, now till now we were dealing with the primitive data or non-primitive data related things. Okay, because as you can see here, so when we are returning the attendance is not a data type, right? It's an object. And what type of what is should be returned inside of the request body. So we have to, so for that we have to mention that the request body, it is the same as the date is not a string type of data, it's not an integer type of data, it's not a primitive data, right? So you have to tell them to it is a date. How to do that? How to understand our program it is a date. So for that reasons here, the one more annotation is come to the picture. That annotations will be, first of all, the date should not come in the path URL. So for that, we have to mention here it's a request parameter, that is a input field, okay, which was in the input field in the client side. And then what we have, hit the rate annotations called date and time format. Date time format is coming here, and this important is, and you have to also give a pattern. How you want to be PEWT RN pattern. The pattern should be what? Y M M D D and with semicolon. That is right. Okay, bracket is not there, that's why. And see, or else, more clear way, I think now you will understand. Don't say that. So request parameter, which is defined, is it is a input type of field, Date and time, it's a format of pattern YYMMDD, and it is a date. It represents it is a date type of data. Okay. After this, it is a get mapping. So here, because we were getting the data at the rate get mapping, path should be slash VIEW attendance by date. Okay. Okay, this is also done now. Just save it and come back to the Spring Boot application and run this. Okay, server is running. Okay, it's done now. Just copy this view attendance by date, Control C. Let's come back to our postman to check is it right or wrong. How to just come to here attendance view attendance date. Just remove this. Okay. So this is our default URL, that is a http localhost colon 808 slash attendance slash control V view attendance by date. What type of it is request? It is a get type of request. So just get type of request, and as you can see here, the query parameters is coming here. Can we mention it? Oh, we did something wrong. What was that? I will explain you first. Just did this a date, and the format is like 2026, right? Hyphen 1 hyphen 1. Okay, or we can say 01 or 01. Okay, send it. Attendance found. How? Leela Kumari is present in the date of 2026. Is it right? Oh, it's working. But we did wrong. What is wrong? Here, come to here, attendance service. And what is the method we use here? Find all. So find all means it will be not giving the data, which date of the data we want to be. It just treated as a data. Means whatever the data we have, we will get all the data. No matter what date I am entered. Got it? How to solve this problem? The repository come to the pictures. Let's go to the attendance repository. Control M, and here the GPQL query is coming into the picture. Here, right, as you can, if you remember, the interface have uh, the method with and with the semicolon is called the interface, right? That is called the abstract method, which does not have a body. So same thing is doing here. The data will be a list type of data, attendance type, attendance, and the name of the method is control C, control V, and here enter the local date Java time, and which have our date here, right, and with semicolon. Okay, that much is done here because we did not implementing this method here. This function or this method is implemented in the service class, which is already done by myself. Okay, by ourselves we already done, but still I want to data by the date. How? See, @rate query, the structure query language which is used to communicate with the data or the database, right? Same thing here. In the @ query, you have to write a typical query like select A from from attendance attendance A where where A dot date is equal to column date and with semicolon. Sorry, and with double quotes and start with the double quotes. That's it. It's very easy. Okay, just doing that much of thing. It's wrong. S-E-L. Sorry, S-E-L-E-C-T. Now it's right. Okay, it's right now. That's it. Now, when the service logic is called to the view attendance, still now we call the find all. We did wrong here. Was just update here. Instead of find all, we use a attendance repository dot view attendance. As you can see here, view attendance present in the attendance repository or interface. Just imported from there and date inside of this. That's it. Now the problem is solved. Now what is happening when the client search by the date? Okay, it comes to the controller. Controller goes to this service. Service see that attendance repository dot view attendance by date. Is it present or not? It goes to the check to the repository and the repository go to the database and compare it. The select A from the attendance A where the date is equal to date. Is it right or wrong? So if compare there is date is present the data, it will be give you the data. What if enter the wrong date? It will say no, the enter date is wrong. Let's save it and control M and check what we will be getting now. Oh, I'm getting something error. What is the error? Unsatisfied dependency exceptions error creating a bean name for attendance controller. Dependency through the failed attendance service creating bean with the same attendance service. Oh, something did wrong in the attendance controller. No problem. Let me solve this problem. Okay. As you can see here, the select A from the attendance A where the A dot data is equal to date. Sorry, by mistake. Instead of data, we have a date here. Sorry, date is equal to date. And save it again and see. Okay, now it's running normally. See, the error, when the error is coming, don't be getting panic. Just read the error. When you see that caused by error, just read that line and understand what the error is saying. So be patient to find the error and solve the error, because the error is the only thing everyone getting the depressed. Okay, now send the data. Attendance not found in the date of 2026-11. Okay, why? Mm. Oh, because of the date of this. Okay, the 2026-0101, we did not have any data. So which date we have a data? Date where we have a data, the date is 15, month is 1, and the year is 2026. Let's check it again. See, we will getting the data. That is the problem with the find all. The find all, whatever you enter, it will be give you the data. So make sure when you are doing a program, these kind of situations is goes through. So very careful, do the program. Okay, do your best code and don't be get depressed. So most of the time you will be getting a depressed. Just take a break and do some coffee stuff, drink some coffee, and come back again and do the program. Don't be getting panic and most of the time. And after this, let's move to the next video to implement the other APIs. Okay, so the next API is uh, view all record. So what mistake we did in a view date, same thing, same API, same method we have to call in here, not in a view by date. Okay, so let's control M. Before we going to that, if you are still getting with the structure, see you can see here, and this is the application structure. Okay, okay, and now let's move to the API related things. So public response entity. What type of data? List of data, because we are getting to find all the data, right? The list of the data, whatever data is, and that's type of data. Oh, sorry, still forget that response structure. Sorry. Response entity, response structure, then list of the attendance, and here you have to enter the VIE view all records. Okay, we did not have anything inside of this formal argument. And then here enter a response structure, RESP response structure, sorry, response structure, what type of data, this type of attendance, and then structure is equal to new response structure. Okay, and with semicolon, and then same as list of attendance, give to the relative name, receive attendance or list of attendance, whatever you want, you can take it, is equal to attendance repository dot the find all method which is present in a list CRUD of repository. That means in the repository package, which is extended by the JPA repository, where the find all method is already present, which is dealing with the database and give you the data. If it's present, receive attendance dot is size, sorry, dot size. If the size is greater than 0, that means if the data is present more than 0, that means the data is present, right? No matter how many data, all the data is coming here. And then here the structure dot set message first, message attendance, ADDENDANC attendance records found, and with semicolon structure dot set data receive attendance, structure dot set status code, http status dot okay dot value. Okay, return new response entity structure, sorry, structure comma http status, sorry, http status dot okay, and with semicolon. What if size is greater than 0? Just throw exception, throw new attendance not found exception, and return here the attendance is not found. FOUND found. And just this. Okay. This API is also done here. Just view with all the records. Comment here. Control V API. Okay. So this API is also done. And let's move to the just copy the first line and move to the controller as usual. And come to the controller. Here, Control V, return attendance service, sort, view all attendance. Yeah, view all records and with semicolon. What type of data is? It should be a get mapping type of data. And so get mapping, we did not have to mention the uh, we did not need a URL. It should be come to the default URL like slash. When the Amazon.com is tapping the Amazon.com, the data is coming directly, right? So that's why here we did not have to write a path URL. Okay, the default path will be there, and by using that, we will getting the data. Okay, after this, Control M, save it, go to the Spring Boot applications. Okay. Oh, the server is already running. No problem. Save it, restart the server, and go to the Postman. Come into this here, and as you can see here, the get mapping, the default URL is at http colon slash localhost colon 808 slash attendance, which is a already mentioned that default URL. Okay, let me send the the attendance record is found. The attendance record found. We have one data in the table. Let me enter one more data in the table. Just go to the post mapping. Instead of Sheila, just enter the Laila. Laila. What happened? Oh, sorry. It's a response. So here you have to modify it. Instead of Sheila, let's enter the Laila. Percent. On percent, just mention the absent. ABSENT absent. On time or off the side off here. Save it. Yeah, attendance marks successfully. One more data is set in the table. And just come back to the here and let me send it again. See, we will getting two data. Why? Because we were getting the data in the list format. The list is returns the multiple data at a time. Okay, we can store our multiple data in the list. And also, yeah, I think list is storing a homogeneous data, right? It does not care about it will it does not care about it should store in a string type of data only or integer type of data only. It can store an integer and a string, both type of data in the one object. That's why we used a list here. Now the one remaining APIs is have to complete it. So let's complete the last one. After that this project will be done. Or if you need a front-end part as well, no problem, I will make it. But before we move to the client side, first of all, you have to like and share and subscribe my channel. If we get more than 5K views and a subscriber of 500 to 700, I will definitely make a front-end side as well. Even I already make it, but I did not upload videos from the client side. If you need it, just like and subscribe and comment. So let's move to the next one. because that your comments or if you are getting plays, that is motivate me. That is a motivation for me for that reasons. Otherwise, obviously, not getting a reach in the video. Uh, Sorry if I'm getting promoted. Anyway, leave it. Okay, let's move to the next API called delete API. So public response entity, response structure, response structure, string, delete. When you're performing a delete, it's a type of structure, it's a string type of, and then delete. Name of the method is a delete records. So we have to when we were deleting the records, we need something unique to find that particular person. So here we have our integer ID, but the real case we have our email or mobile numbers. For by using that we can perform to delete. But most of the cases, let's suppose mobile can have multiple users can have a same mobile number, because let's suppose if you have 3 to 4 kids, everyone in the schools, so you don't want to be given to the mobile to the every kids, because it's a time of the school period, right? In the school you don't have to allow the mobile, so one mobile numbers can be entered in a multiple people's, so then you will not delete by using the mobile. In that case you have a ID only. Then here return, sorry, not return. After this, still same as usual, response structure. What it is? A type of string structure is equal to new response structure and with semicolon. And after this, same as optional opt optional, right? Optional attendance. Sorry, it's only attendance. Yeah, attendance receive attendance is equal to attendance repository dot. Is it present? That delete is present in that attendance repository? Yeah. As you can see here, delete is present in the CRUD repository. That means the our repository interface called attendance repository inherited by the extended by the JPA repository, where this method is present CRUD repository. Delete by the ID here. Enter the ID. Why? Is it right? Oh, oh. It's okay, it's right, but why we will getting the error? Change to delete or delete by ID. Okay. Because I'm deleting by the ID, so instead of delete, we have to perform a delete by ID. So change to the delete by ID. Okay, now is it right? Still getting the error. Why? See, this match cannot convert from void optional attendance to the this. Okay. So okay, so we did not do like that. Instead of this, just first let's find by ID. Let's find by ID. So here we find the ID. After finding the ID, now we have to perform the delete, right? Now I find it. So if receive attendance is present, dot is present, then we have to perform delete. Here we have to perform attendance repository dot delete by ID. Dot delete by ID. By ID. Okay. Then structure dot check messages deleted successfully, deleted, deleted, SUCE success, FULLY successfully. Okay, successfully, and then here right attendance deleted successfully, and instead of also here you have to enter a structure dot set data. Instead of here, you have to write this inside of the data. Control V, double quotes, and here just write a success, success, and structure dot set status code, http status dot delete है. Is it present? Not present. So what we have not found, I think, or okay value. In the delete, yeah, okay value is only used here. Okay dot value. After this, you have to return it. Return new response entity wrapped in structure, comma, uh, http status dot okay, and with semicolon. What if that ID is not present? So throw new response. Sorry. Uh, throw new attendance not found exception. Here, just the given ID, GIVN given ID is not present. PRSENT problems. After this, you can concatenate here. So, and with semicolon plus enter ID, then plus, then semicolon. Okay. Entered ID is not present and with semicolon. Okay. Now this API is almost is also done, and the our all the APIs is done now. Just here, comment out, delete records API. Okay, and just as usual, copy to the first line. Control C, attendance controller. Come here and do this. Return attendance service dot delete records by ID and with semicolon. Here, what type of function it is? It's a delete mapping. Delete mapping. So what are the things performed? Put, post, get, and delete. These are the things we have done here in this project. And here have to mention that it should be a path variable. Path variable. Here the path should be a delete records not records. Okay, records slash ID should be in the curly braces. Okay, it is also done now. Just control M and save it. Go to the Spring Boot applications. Okay, it says what server is restarted, and let's go to the postman in the delete sections. And here, what is the path present here? Delete records. So first of all, what you have to do, just coming here and see the delete is present or not. Yeah, we can see the delete is present here. Just click to the delete and then just remove this. The default URL is http localhost 808 attendance slash control v delete record slash. Let's suppose we entered R10, okay, and send it. Status port 404 message the given ID is not present and data is null. What if we enter a 1000 or 2000? Send it. Still we're getting a same error. That means our program is working fine. But if we entered a 2 and check it, see the status curse 200, the message success, and the data add-in is deleted successfully. And to check this, let's go to the here and this is okay. Oh, we did not check before that. Oh, no problem. Just go to the post and just save this Leila. Okay, refresh it. ID 3, we have a Leila here, and let's go to delete here and enter the ID 3 and send it. The ID deleted successfully and just refresh it. See, the Leila is deleted. Okay, our all the APIs is working fine. No problem with the any APIs. So we have done all the related things. Okay, so before we have done with all the things, end this video. Just see the structure once again, and the control M, the controller having auto wide with these things. We perform the mark attendance, update attendance. So find attendance record by ID, view attendance by date, view all records, and delete records related things we have done here. The repository having this, attendance service having this logic, okay, and the attendance having this field. Okay, now you will understand how to build a Spring Boot project. It's a backend project. If you want to be front end part, I will definitely make it. And nobody's about the if you are getting the any errors, just comment in the description in the video. I will definitely reply your comments. So that's all about these videos. Thank you for watching. Coding pills, just like taking small pills of knowledge every day. But today we are taking a large pills of knowledge. So okay, it's a heavy day for you as well and for me as well. So keep calm now and just take sip of coffee. 1 cup of coffee. That's make you better. Thank you all to watch these videos properly and full. Thank you once again.